But let me just tell you, tears don't sway the court. I'm just here to listen to facts to see if you've done anything that would justify the court placing you on probation. Okay? All right, court is calling. And I need everyone in the box. If you're behind the court reporter, please do not speak because she needs to be able to hear. Court is calling 2022 CR 9351, State of Texas versus Kayla Rolak. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
For the defense?
Albert Rodriguez.
And are you Kayla Rolak?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement in this case, you pled to the lesser included offense of abandonment of a child with intent to return. Punishments to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $1,500 fine. The state is opposed to your application and they're taking several cases into consideration. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes,
State?
Your Honor.
Your Honor, I don't know if I, yes, Your Honor.
All right, any objections to the PSI report, defense?
Other than it says that she's unemployed, she is employed.
Okay, any other objections than that?
No.
All right, state any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state you are opposed to the application. Do you have any witnesses?
We do not, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, defense, you may call your first witness.
Is that okay?
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth so help you God? All right, I'm gonna need you to speak up.
Okay.
All right. Could you state your name for the record?
Cynthia Cisneros.
All right, and could you spell it for the court reporter, please?
CYNTHIA, last name Cisneros, CISNEROS.
All right, off the record for a moment. And Norma, if you could tell the attorney, the interpreter is here. So whenever they're ready to proceed.
He's right there.
All right, counsel, because we have a shortage of interpreters, if I could take
Yes.
take this matter up very
Go
quickly.
ahead.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so we're back on the record in 2022 CR 9351, State of Texas versus Kayla Rolak. And you're still under oath. And could you restate your name, please?
Yes, Cynthia Cisneros.
All right, and standing in for the state.
Ruben Herrera for the state, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, you may proceed.
You stated your name. What is your profession or occupation?
Yes, I'm a family-based safety services worker for Child Protective Services.
And have you supervised or participated with Miss Kayla?
Yes, sir. I have been her worker since September of 2022, and her case just recently closed here in February.
Okay, and can you tell the court how you have interacted with Miss Kayla and how has she progressed?
Sure. So, part of my job is to obviously, go into the home, make sure, things are going well with her and her daughter, also to comply with services. So specifically, we had enrolled Kayla Rolak into parenting, domestic violence, and random drug screenings. She excelled the whole time. She also got protective daycare for her child. So that's where she currently is during the day. And then she does reside with maternal grandmother and Kayla during the day. But she did really, really well. All drug screens came back negative for all substances. She was compliant in all of her services, received positive feedback from all her providers. And my time in working with Ms. Rolak, I really did not experience any negative feedback, any negative experiences or anything like that.
All right. And are you fully satisfied that she has participated well then?
Yes, definitely.
As a witness?
Mrs. Neros, does the defendant have a support system in order to help her care for the victim in this case?
Yes.
And is she? Nothing further. Witness, Your Honor.
All right, so how long did you supervise her?
Since September of 2022.
And how
Until-
often were you seeing her?
I was seeing her about twice a month.
All right, and when's the last time she had a drug test?
February of this year.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may, Ms. Kayla would like the court.
Have you, State, have you reviewed the documentations he wants to present to the court?
I have no objections to the present of state doc or the defense documents.
Pepper?
Yes. Thank you, counsel. And for the record, the court is reviewing certificates that have been offered on behalf of Ms. Rolick by her attorney. Any other witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, State, you're opposed to the application?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, you can make your argument, State.
Your Honor, although it's been presented that the defendant seems to be taking some steps in,
All right, you all need to whisper in the box.
taking responsibility for this matter, based on the allegations, Your Honor, it shows a gross negligence and the lack of proper judgment. In fact, that the defendant did admit to leaving her child purposefully at the home without checking to see if there was anybody there to supervise the child, Your Honor. This resulted in the victim child being able to escape the residence on her own, being outside in cold temperatures with nothing but a diaper on. Based on the allegations, Your Honor, the state would oppose the defendant's application.
All right, is there a reason for the tears? Because what he's just saying is true.
No.
Now, I know people want to cry before the court because they want the court to be lenient, but let me just tell you, tears don't sway the court. I'm just here to listen to facts to see if you've done anything that would justify the court placing you on probation, okay? All right, so that's why you're asking for her to go to prison?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And have you State, have you had a chance to review her certificates?
I did, Your Honor.
All right, defense?
Yes, sir. And Your Honor, we're asking that the court consider supervision for her. This offense, first of all, the child just wandered away from, in contrast to what counsel says that the child escaped. So it wasn't a matter of escaping. She was just wandered off as children off too. My client had stated, she told the police that she thought that the adults were inside the home and that the child was being taken care of. And it was just a mistake on her part. And I would like for Ms. Rolick to address the court on this issue of abandoning the child.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Kayla Roloff.
All right, defense.
And why do you, first of all, was this an honest mistake on your part in leaving the child?
Yes, I would never want to leave my child on purpose. I take care of her every day. I'm the only person that she's been with every day of her life. I love her and I didn't mean to put her in any harm's way.
All right, somebody want to explain to me, the crux of this entire situation is some kind of way, a 2-year-old in a diaper ended up wandering the streets in a diaper only in November, and it was cold. So, I mean, that's what we need to get to the point of, because in the PSI report, she's blaming the people who CPS has put in charge of helping her supervise the child. That's who she's blaming for her child being out and about, because in the PSI report, it states that guilt was minimized. And in the PSI report, she's stating she thought these other people who CPS put in charge of her child as the person to chaperone or supervise, she's blaming them, saying that they were supposed to be there. So somebody explained to me how a 2-year-old gets out of a apartment or residence that's supposedly locked or should have been locked.
So she was naked, not wearing any clothes, because that's how we sleep. She still goes and runs around naked. We just got out of diapers, so she usually just wears a underwear. But that's why she was naked, not having any clothes. And I do not blame anyone else. This is my fault. I should have been the one to check if anyone was there. I was just saying that I had thought because when I laid down my daughter, my mom and my uncle were still there, so that's the reason why I didn't check, but this is my fault. I am taking full
Okay,
responsibility.
I hope everybody understands. I'm always curious. I have questions. It sounds odd to me, unless people are living in a mansion and you have the west wing and the east wing and people leave and people don't know it. So I'm just finding it, or I just have questions. How a child gets left, and I don't even understand how children get left in the car by themselves, but in a home, how does a child get left in a home by themselves if a parent is leaving and other people are there? And other people see you leave. Nobody thinks, oh, we can't leave because there's a 2-year-old here. How does that work?
So when I laid down my daughter, my mom and I both went into our rooms. That's why I thought that she was there. So I didn't hear no door open or close, and I hadn't come out of. So I didn't see anybody. I figured my mom was still home because I didn't see anybody out there.
So you don't see anybody and you just leave your daughter in a house and you haven't seen anyone.
Just because I thought that my mom was in her room still.
Defense, you may continue.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions?
Just briefly, Ms. Rolak, how far away is your mother's room from your room?
It was like down low.
Did you knock at all to check if she was still there?
I don't think so.
Did you walk around the apartment to confirm that there was any adults present before you left the apartment?
I just walked through the living room.
Nothing further else.
All right. Any other witness, defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I want a UA today, then I'll make my decision. So Ms. Abrams, if I could have a UA on Ms. Rolak, please. We're back on the record in 2022 CR 9351, State of Texas versus Kayla Rolak. Court is here. Counsel. Thank you. All right, we're back on the record in 2022 CR 9351 Kayla Rolak. And the court asked the defendant to do a UA. And I'm very happy to say that the UA was negative. All right, is there anything else from either side with regards to argument?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Anything else from the defense?
Well, no, I have a request, but
What is your request?
she's been on the monitor for 5 months. We're asking if it can be removed.
Oh, she's going to remain on the monitor. All right. So, Ms. Rolak, I wanted to tell you, and this is why I always keep an open mind on everything. Just reading your history and looking at everything, someone would suggest that you should go to prison. But, I always tell people whether you think a judge is going to do something or not, and I would always tell my clients, hey, you know what? We have to give the judge something to suggest you're not going to prison. So don't come in and throw yourself on the mercy of the court and you have done nothing. You understand? So I see that you've done a lot. I see that you completed everything with Child Protective Services. And sometimes Child Protective Services, they're always overworked and underpaid, but you actually had a good caseworker to stay on top of you and make sure that you were doing everything that you were supposed to be doing. And I see that during this time, you got your GED, you're enrolled in college. That's great. And to all the children who are out there who always think that the best college to go to is someplace that's not at home. Sometimes, the best college is a college that's actually in your city. people always want to go to some other college because they think it's the best college. And I always say, the best college is wherever you are, if you make it that best college. So I see that you've done that. You have supervision because you're not living by yourself. I'm going to want you to continue to not live by yourself. Now, once you've been on probation for a while, your attorney can always come back and ask the court to reconsider that part. So who are the persons you're living with?
I live with my mom
Okay.
and my daughter,
And what's your mom's name?
Brenda Marshall.
I'm sorry?
Brenda Marshall.
Brenda Marshall. And I'm assuming your mom wants you to remain with her.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to grant your application. And I'm actually going to give you deferred adjudication. So 4 years deferred adjudication. There's to be a $1,500 fine. That will be probated. Taking consideration, County Court Cause number 688-620, 691-438, Night Mag number 675530. Proof of employment within 30 days. And in this court, if you're on probation here, I don't allow you to be a home health care provider. So there's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. 250 hours community service restitution. Those hours will be waived if you provide proof of enrollment in college, which you have. You need to provide that proof to probation today. And for the court to give you credit for that, you need to take at least 9 hours a semester. And I don't allow people to do that thing where they say, oh, here's my 9 hours for semester, and then they drop classes. That's expensive.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I actually am going for a pre-major in psychology, and then I want to go to UTSA. So after these, I'm gonna do like, I think around 17 hours a semester because I'm.
Thank you. See, when I tell people that every semester I would do like 24 hours a semester, people don't believe it, but it can be done.
Yeah.
All right, so provide proof of enrollment in college with at least 9 hours. Probation, I'm going to ask for parenting classes. She's already completed those, so you'll need to provide documentation to that. She is to reside with Brenda Marshall. And so it's only you two in the household, right? All right. There are to be no adult males in the household residing there.
Okay.
If something changes, you can let me know. I just found from my experience as a defense attorney on CPS side, what ends up happening is mothers are doing great. And I've had male clients over there too. They're doing great. Then the next thing you know, they end up getting a new partner. They don't vet that partner appropriate, and everything that goes downhill. So that's why I'm putting no adult males. So she's not allowed to reside with any adult males. Probation, I'm going to want field visits once per month. Regular reporting, and the field visit can count as her reporting, and that field visit is until further notice. And we'll do regular UAs. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
If, I know you said I could take my certificate that I already did parenting class.
Yes.
Can I still take another one? Because this last one that I took with the San Antonio Fatherhood Campaign,
Mhm.
I actually learned a lot. And if I could just keep learning, because my daughter is getting older.
Okay.
And also, is there any way that I can get, that y'all can help me with like therapy or like getting into counseling?
All right. So what I'll do is probation, we'll add parenting classes. And make sure you notate in that the parenting classes were at Ms. Roleg's request. And also, do we need a mental health caseload or mental health evaluation probation?
What's your mental health evaluation for referral?
All right, we'll do a mental health evaluation for
I-
referral.
I did do that and she said that I didn't have any like things, but I have a lot of anxiety and I just deal with a lot of stress and stuff. So that's why I asked for like the therapy or counseling.
All right, they'll take care of it. They're gonna make it happen. If it doesn't happen, let me know.
Okay.
I'm here. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. All right? All right, good luck to you. Good job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Your Honor,
Yes.
did you specify?
Wait, am I still on house arrest?
Oh. With regards to the monitor probation,
Yes, Your Honor.
let's keep her on the monitor for 2 months. If there are no issues, then it can be removed.
GPS park.
Yes,
I can like take my daughter to the park and stuff.
yes, it's probation. Just make it tracking,
All right. Thank
but
you
you'll
so
still
much.
need to let probation know where you're going to be, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And this is, the top copy is for the state. All right, thank you.
Have a great
just-
week.
Oh, thank you. Just remain in she needs to remain in the courtroom so probation can go over conditions with her. Court is calling 2022 CR 10641, State of Texas versus Wayne Tolliver. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Debbie Chris on behalf of state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Patrick Valentine, on behalf of Mr. Tolliver.
Are you Mr. Tolliver?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
We have your,
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Tolliver, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review this with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Ms. Young,
Counsel, do you weigh the reading of the indictment?
we do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're waiving the repeat enhancement allegation, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right. All right, I don't know why this, somebody explain to me why on the trial rights to appeal, somebody checked.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge. Some courts prefer it. I didn't mean to
No.
step into your prerogative.
All right. So you're proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor, with the exception that we'd be waiving the repeater.
Any objection?
No objection.
Mr. Tolliver, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated, third or more?
Yes, Your Honor.
The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your-
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
No, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
You understand?
Okay.
Yes.
You understand your rights in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you're giving up those rights?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Do you want to give up those rights and enter into a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
You believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Tolliver, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Your Honor.
According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishments be assessed at a cap of 6 years in the prison, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
State any evidence?
Your Honor, at this time, the state introduces state's exhibit number 1 and all of its attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you can continue to confer. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. Probation.
Yes, sir.
On this case, I'm going to need a PSI, TAP evaluation, and referral to felony drug court. Is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to come back on May 4th at 9 a.m. And at that time, the court will make a decision on your punishment based upon the PSI report and any other information I receive.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 11632, State of Texas versus Efron Martinez Soto. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Debbie Cruz on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
defense?
A little for defendant.
All right, and are you Mr. Soto?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and according to the plea bargain agreement, the restitution is for $2,000. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's $1,000 fine to be probated. Restitution of $2,000 to Catherine Muras, Muras, is to be paid today,
Yes, Your Honor.
March 23rd. There's to be no contact with Catherine Muras. 150 hours community service restitution. Do you have any children?
Yes.
What are their ages?
From 13 and 7.
Do they live with you?
Yes.
All right, there's going to be 150 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to have that, but if you do, 40 hours will be waived. I'm going to ask for parenting classes. Once that's completed, the remaining of your community service hours will be waived. There's to be the anti-theft course. Regular reporting to probation by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. Probation, if you want to count his field visits as reporting, you can. If there are no issues after 3 months, probation, you can resume field visits as you deem appropriate. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
Good.
Thank you. Yes.
One other matter, I was conferring with Jason Garahan about this particular case and indicated he didn't have any objection if I asked, given that he paid all the restitution up front, a shorter term of the deferred adjudication, given the restitution was all paid up.
Well, I mean, once he completes everything, if he completes everything, the court will consider early termination.
Thank you. Second thing, Your Honor, just, I want the court to understand how he found himself in this situation. He's a contractor. He had been doing some work for this young lady's father.
Mhm.
She had hired him to do some roofing work. He subcontracted some other roofers and they disappeared with the money. He had been communicating with the father, had already paid up about 1,800. When the case was brought, there was a balance of 2,000. So that's how he found himself in this situation.
Okay.
He's implementing some new business practices.
Oh, yes. You know, people just want to jump in and start a business, but you got to know who you're hiring and stay on top of everything.
Well, and the crazy thing is, he said he's used this roofer in the past, like for 5 years.
5 years.
Oh.
And he disappeared with the money.
All
That's
right.
how he found himself in this.
Okay, oh, you want to go around?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's, no, but everybody thinks that they're stretched from the,
Actually, I think I could have pulled it off.
you think
but-
you could have? Okay, we're going to try that. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. All right, state on this case, you were tender offer today and there's an issue with CPS records.
Yes, Your Honor, we are following up on those CPS records. We have not received those, and because of that, Judge, we are unable to tender an offer today.
When do you anticipate having the CPS records?
Your Honor, I know right now they are backlogged, but we have had that request out for some time now, so I'm expecting within the next 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On Mr. Allen, if I could have Denver Stewart, can I have a 45-day reset? And this will be the last date for discovery.
We can do May 15th.
Are you going to be here May 15th?
I believe that's the week after. I'm trying to get back to my calendar. Yes, Your Honor, I'll be back on May 15th.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset form. We'll see you on May 15th.
Thank you.
Your Honor, there's actually one other matter to bring up with Denver Stewart.
Yes.
I have filed a motion to amend his bond conditions. I sent an email to the prosecutors yesterday to see if they're going to be able to be in agreement with the motion so we can present that to the court for review.
And what is the motion concerning?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is currently on GPS monitoring. However, he's received a additional job opportunity with the employer that he's working for that would eventually possibly lead to a promotion. However, in this new project that he'd be working in, it's going to require him to stand in standing water, which would obviously put him in a dangerous position while wearing a monitoring unit. In talking to my client, it's my understanding, obviously, he'd like to be able to pursue this as he is young. He has a good job right now. He's always reported back to the court as for every setting, anytime the court asked of him.
All right, well, counsel, if you'll file that motion and if you'll be here in person, we'll take it up whenever you're available to take it up.
Right, that's why I'm asking, is I did file the motion. I filed it about a week or so ago and I'd
Oh,
forwarded.
we'll do that. We'll do that when you're here in person.
Okay, that's fine.
All
then.
right.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
All right, what is happening on this case?
Judge, I've conferred with the state. There's still some discovery that I need to obtain from them.
All right, what discovery is it? Because the court has that on January 26th, a discovery acknowledgement was signed and filed. So what discovery is outstanding?
There's the child safe interview. And I understand the state now has copies of the polygraph that was given to the defendant.
All right, state, do you have that?
We do, Your Honor. He just needs to make an appointment to view the child safe.
All right, and then the polygraph?
The polygraph, we can prepare copies for him. They're in the file.
All right, can you give that to him today since he's here?
Yes.
All right.
I'll get it.
All right, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Has an offer been tendered?
An offer was tendered today.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 3-week reset. You can put this in April. It'll be for a plea deadline date. All right, April 6th will be your plea deadline date. You'll need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. After that date, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements with not good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, Your Honor. And then has he already received the immigration information?
Yes,
Okay. So that's completed.
yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes. All right, so what is happening with this case?
Judge, you had reset us. The state was looking for 2 items, one surveillance footage from I think a restaurant across from my client's house that may have had footage, and apparently they checked, and the surveillance footage they checked doesn't show anything, just the cameras weren't pointing at anything. But they Jason said he emailed the detective about some reports about prior incidents
Yes.
between the complainant's family and my family, but he hasn't responded. The detective hasn't responded yet.
So when?
I can follow up again, Judge, with the detective, but he hasn't replied to me from a couple weeks ago.
All right, so on February 6th, we were here for discovery. Video, if it exists, which I'm being told it does not exist. And then prior reports between the parties. And so we're still waiting on prior reports between
Yes.
the parties.
Yes, that's part, he hasn't, I don't know, I know he has some way to check for past incidents from particular addresses, but he hasn't, as far as I know.
And Judge, we know they exist because the complainant's sister had a no contact order. She was not supposed to trespass or contact my client's family based on some prior incidents, but I don't have any offense reports, and that's what we're trying to find out, whether or not the brother was mentioned as well, the decedent.
And I'm sure you do not wish to proceed without having that documentation. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I'm going to give you all 3 weeks. And if you don't hear from that officer, then he needs to be subpoenaed for a hearing to find out where the reports are and if they exist and why Mr. Maurer doesn't have those. All right, what date? All right, so we're going to come back on March 30th.
And Judge, I conferred with the state about the GPS, and we can't come to an agreement about removal. So I'd like to see if you can refer me to either Judge Carruthers or Judge Nahara for a hearing.
Okay, all right, we'll refer you to Judge Nahara. For some reason, they have moved Judge Carruthers' court. Nobody was informed. They just told him, I think, on Friday, you're moving on Monday.
Like from where he's always been, he's not there anymore.
No. So somebody who knows have decided to give him a courtroom, that there is no space for a court reporter. So the court reporter won't have an office. There's really no space for clerks. Again, I always tell people before you make decisions, like walk the building.
Well, the Impact County Court offices don't have telephones, so that tells you about how Garrett County works.
All right, so we'll come back on March 30th.
I thank you, Judge.
And then Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. And then if Judge Nahara can't hear it, then I can hear it.
Okay, I'll go check with them.
Thank you. Jacob Guevara, we're still waiting for her to come back on that.
He's up here, Your Honor.
Jacob Guevara, if you could come down, please. Court is calling 2022, and counsel, you over here. Court is calling 2022 CR 7321, State of Texas versus Francisco Carlos Aguilar. I have parties announced for the record for the state. Defense.
Hector Garza Jr.
And are you Mr. Aguilar?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest in January. This was set for today for a PSI. According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault bodily injury as a Class A misdemeanor. They're recommending deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
I have, Judge.
Defense, do you have any objections to the PSI report?
You know what, Judge, I don't have objections, I guess, to how they carried it out, but I do take a huge opposition to the suggestions that are made from probation. I rarely question too much of what they do, but they got this one way wrong, if I'm reading this correctly.
All right. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I'm an installation contractor and I have my own business.
Okay. All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court is going to sentence you to $250. That will be probated. The court is going to sentence you to 1 year's deferred adjudication. 60 hours of community service restitution. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
My youngest is 10, 16, 17, and my oldest is 24.
All right, I'm going to ask for parenting classes. Once you complete the parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed to be completed.
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be no contact with Lev, L-E-V, O'Kelly, O-K-E-L-L-E-Y, anger management course, proof of employment within 15 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, regular UAs, regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Probation, I'm going to want one field visit. If everything looks okay with the field visit, then you don't need to do any more field visits. And if you want to count that first field visit as his first reporting, you can. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
I submitted my proof of employment to
Probation.
yes, ma'am, during my interview.
Well, just let them know, okay? Do you need anything else from the court?
Your Honor, if I may, Judge, I do have one request potentially. Judge, this situation, the case itself was a fight between the victim and a third party, another cousin, if you will. Frank stepped out to stop the altercation and was accused of hitting the victim. Against my recommendation of taking this case to trial because family members would have had to been brought in, Frank decided to move forward with the plea bargain because he just wanted this done and not involve family violence. I've actually known Frank since I started my legal career 18 years ago. The first office that I officed at was directly behind a Wendy's restaurant that Frank was managing in 2005, and I've known him since.
So what are you asking for, counsel?
The anger management class, Judge, I believe in this case is excessive. I would ask potentially that the court hold it in abeyance. If another situation arises, then by all means have him completed. But I really feel that that is not going to happen here. And I just feel that it's overkill given the situation and the true facts of the case.
All right, the court is keeping in place the anger management. Is there anything else?
That was the only thing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.